Hi, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday, and on Friday, we talk tech and English for business. So come on, sit back, relax, hydrate. Let's talk tech. And today I'm here with my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups. We'll be joined shortly by Terry Johnson online everywhere and Dr. Tachi with media from Mediascope. So we hope you'll join in as we talk about things that concern tech and you. How you doing this morning, Fran?
I am well. Good morning. Good morning. Want to say hello to everybody watching live on the replay, those over listening over on Clubhouse. Yes, we are recording this, so those on Clubhouse, if you speak, just know that you are being recorded.
Yes, come to the mic.
TJ will be in here shortly, and so we start the day off by talking about this week in tech history.
All right.
The first story, Twitter.com is born January 21st, 2000.
Wow.
20, I had no idea that Twitter is 21 years old today.
Yes, it's
the domain name registered. So the domain name, sorry, it wasn't Twitter, the company. The domain name twitter.com was registered January 21st, 2000. However, it wasn't until 2006 that the domain name was purchased by Twitter Inc. and took the form we know today. That's an interesting stat. Next story. First TV station west of the Mississippi.
First TV station. Let me mute myself.
January 22nd, 1947, KTLA, the first commercial television station west of the Mississippi, begins operations in Hollywood, California. Bob Hope emceed the inaugural broadcast. A total of 322 televisions are in the Los Angeles viewing area. Did he say 322? 322. January 22nd, 1968, Apollo 5 lifts off carrying the first unmanned lunar module into space.
Okay, we're going to space.
As long as we ain't going to Mars. Okay. And then my final story, did we send, just a side note, did Tachi get her link?
I don't think so. Let me send that.
Okay. Side note, well, now back from the side. 1984 commercial introduces the Macintosh. The Apple computer broadcasts their now famous 1984 commercial introducing the Macintosh.
Okay.
During the third quarter of the Super Bowl 13, it was the first and last time the ad was truly broadcast. However, it's little known piece of trivia that the ad was aired one other time at 1 a.m. on December 15th, 1983 in Twin Falls, Idaho, but only so that the advertisement could be submitted to award ceremonies for that year. A 30-second version also ran in theaters starting January 17th, but it was the broadcast during the Super Bowl that people really took notice of. The author of this post was 9 years old then and vaguely remembers seeing the commercial. But he also remembers being more interested in watching the Raiders beat the Redskins at that time. It wasn't until many years later that he actually recalled the commercial, yet when he recalled it, it was as if he remembered that commercial all along. He says, I guess even though I didn't appreciate it at the time, I somehow knew that that moment was truly changing the world. And that's when um, Apple introduced the Macintosh in 1984. The commercial was interesting. And you can see the commercial over on YouTube because it's still there. So that's your week in tech history.
Great.
Yeah, like, okay, history is history. And let's see, I want to see what's happening over here.
Thank you.
Okay. So I've been tooling around with things, and the Clubhouse is a really, really interesting app. And I've got light for days today. Now the sun wants to be out. Okay. So I've been tooling around with Clubhouse, and I still have to go and work on my profile over there, TJ. But it's interesting, the conversations that you can have, the things that you can learn just sitting in a room and being quiet and just kind of hanging out. I was like, wow, hey, Yolanda, good morning over here on Facebook. It's really interesting.
It is. It's a good networking tool. I'll say that. I've met so many new people. I was up late last night, Instagram DMing with somebody that I met because I went into a room. They were talking about politics, and I just made a comment that I like what the person had to say. And then we went to Instagram and we started talking about politics and different things. So I've met a lot of people from different places. It's worldwide. It's global now. There was an update today on Clubhouse, and I think they mentioned all the countries that have joined the Clubhouse. So I feel like it's podcasting, it's a conversation, it's pen pal. Remember pen pals? I always wanted to do that when I was a kid. I always wanted to send an airmail letter to somebody in another country.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that, but it's voice only, because it lets you get comfortable. And I hear an echo.
Okay, I'm getting a little feedback.
Okay, I think let me I tried to turn down my Clubhouse volume.
I know. I had the same situation, so I had to come out because you could actually hear the conversation double. Yeah, but
okay, how about now? Is that better?
Yeah,
is that better? Okay. I turned it all the way down on my phone. So I got a new phone.
Too.
So I got a new phone.
How do you like it? What do you have?
I love it. The 12 Pro. I think.
So let me see the back of it. I think you got the 12 Pro.
Yes.
That is the 12 Pro, my dear.
Okay. I don't keep up with the types and stuff. I'm just like iPhone. But I got it and I had a Clubhouse room scheduled, and I was trying to, restore it, put my backup on and everything. It was just taking forever. And this is the thing I discovered about the Clubhouse room. If you started late, it's still there. So I started like 15 minutes late on, I think it was Wednesday. And I went in and I started the room. I was like, there's, how we're used to Facebook? Facebook is 10 minutes.
Not there in 10 minutes. Yeah.
No, so it's not like that on Clubhouse. I thought that was interesting.
Well, that's good to know.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to keep myself from going on it now. I was going to do something yesterday and I canceled it because I've been talking nonstop and meeting new people and stuff. So it's really exciting. It's the early days.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying on Tuesday about discoverability, that it's a new app. People are excited about it. So get on it and try to, grow get attention to your business or your brand, grow your brand. One thing I will say I observe about Clubhouse is that you cannot have ordinary conversations. Like your title has to be something that's eye-catching and grabbing to get people's interest.
What did you guys say? Something stoppable?
Oh yeah, because there's the main feed when you go to Clubhouse is called a hallway, but that's where you see the rooms that you are either your friends are having, or based on your interests. Now, here's another thing I realized about Clubhouse today. They did an update this morning. They put in the option to, and this is a complaint. People have gone into Clubhouse app and seen rooms on topics that they have no interest in, like way out, and some of the rooms are way out there. Like they talk about everything. So you can swipe right now and you can hide that room, and you're teaching the algorithm to not show you those rooms. So
nice.
For example, at night, there's a lot of after hours talk. I'll say that. So there's a lot of after hours talk, and they get really raunchy, and the titles are there and the emojis are there. So if you don't want to see those kind of rooms, you swipe right now, hide, and you're teaching the algorithm, just like TikTok. You know, when you go on TikTok, the things that you like, the next time you go in the app, you will see them. So this is another way of curating your feed on Clubhouse. So if you're not interested in politics, when you see a room about politics, swipe right, and it'll say hide it, and that's a signal to Clubhouse that you don't want to see those rooms when you go in the app.
That's pretty good, because it seems like that's easier now than
Yes.
Before. Like on not to see something on Facebook is a chore.
It is.
And then like, nope, not that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it is, because Facebook has a different algorithm. Their AI is different. So this is the thing with the new apps. As we get a new app and the next new app, they're getting so much better at giving us what we want. Now, the bad side of that is the discoverability of something outside of your wheelhouse or your topic. You won't see it unless you seek it out.
Okay.
That's
good to know that we can now curate what we want.
You can curate the Clubhouse.
Yes. And it's better than, you brought up Facebook. Oh, you sent I was like, who's that? You sent the link. So Facebook is an older app. I mean, that was it 2003, 2000? I forgot when. It's been so long. But, that app is built on older algorithm rules and coding. But the newer apps, because we've got newer phones, and then, thank Gen Z and Gen Alpha for this, that they're really quick on the draw now to say, we're going to help you find what you want. We're going to keep you happy, because the main goal is to stay on the app. They want you to stay on the app. So that's what all of this comes from. Clubhouse wants you to stay on the app. So if you come into Clubhouse, and I've seen this complaint when I'm on Facebook in the groups, that they go in and they don't see anything that interests them. It's based on who you follow and your interests and what rooms you've gone into before. So those are all like, I like to say, those are like footprints, and Clubhouse is investigating those things and saying, okay, let's try to make our users happy. What are they doing?
I like that. I like that idea that I don't have to, go through a lot of weeds once I tell you what I'm interested in.
Right. So that's TikTok, that's Clubhouse. That's going to be the new app after, because there'll be more. Don't go, okay, well, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat. There's no new apps coming. There's tons of new apps. Tons. So they're coming.
Right. And they're making improvements as they come. Hey, Dr. Tachi.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Hey, Patricia Washington. What happened?
I have no idea.
She popped out. She'll pop back in.
Okay.
Maybe she did it herself.
yeah.
You think so?
I don't know. Are you ready?
Did you mean to come in?
I didn't touch anything.
Okay.
I
don't know.
She has that capability to take herself out.
I did not.
Oh, okay. So maybe the gremlins are here.
Hey, I have no idea what's going on, but you must have something really important to say today.
I suppose I do.
So, so we had the inauguration on Wednesday. How do you all see tech played out how did tech play a part in all of that?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Go, Tachi, because I know that this is your area. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, media.
Especially about media.
So Right. So, like, looking at, obviously tech and media are one and the same, and looking at what had been done, this is the first time that the inauguration was all digital. It's kind of a hybrid, but in terms of the public being involved, it's the first time it was all digital. And so, if you were watching all the different channels that had to be on the broadcast and the news channels on cable, you could go to Biden Harris. You could go to the YouTube site, and then you could go to BidenHarrisInauguration.org. I forgot what the website is, but you could go to their website and watch as well. So it was just absolutely amazing to see how well orchestrated. And I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. At this point, we are, what is this now, 10 months into the pandemic?
Yes.
March. So we're 10 months into the pandemic. By this point, people should have a good handle of the technology needed to stream your message across the world. And I think it saw that play out in terms of being able to follow the entire process from going to the Capitol to the swearing in to all the way to Arlington Cemetery and then to the parade, right? So we saw that play out throughout. One interesting thing is that they also did like a celebration. So you know how each state usually has the balls for the newly installed leaders. They did. It was so wonderful because it involved everybody. So the performances that would normally have been done on the streets were taped and sent in and then assembled by the team. And it wasn't, to me, it didn't seem like the normal people you would have. Of course, they had Howard University and University of Delaware bands lead them in for the alma maters of both the vice president and the president, respectively. But then you had Native American groups. There was this wasn't that great? There was this really great mariachi band too from I don't want to say New Mexico. I can't remember which state, but they were awesome. It was like a high school mariachi band. I'm like, they sound like a professional mariachi band. And just all the different, they had step teams and just so much great stuff. Drill team. There was a drill team from Texas. They kind of reminded me of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders because they did things in the same style. I was just really blown away. I didn't expect anything less, but how well it came together was fantastic. And then one of my favorite parts of this was the pass the mic that DJ Cassidy did. I'm all about the internet DJ these days, right? So if you don't know DJ Cassidy, very cool. He does these pass the mic things, and he's been doing them throughout the pandemic. So he's one of this, groups of different DJs who have been doing great things during the pandemic. So they brought DJ Cassidy in, and he did a pass the mic. The first one I think he did with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and then Kathy Sledge from Sister Sledge, and he just played the songs, and they were there to sing it live. Amazing. So
it was really cool.
Wow.
It was really great.
I was glued to the TV all day. I don't know what else to say about it. It was just astounding to me, and I felt like I could breathe again. I don't know.
Gosh!
I don't know about the rest of America, but for some reason, just knowing that it was done, that it happened, and I could see it on my little smart TV.
Well, what I like about the inauguration is what happened on social media. All of the memes. Can we talk about those for a minute? Okay, so the first one I'm going to mention is Michelle Obama, our forever first lady. Yes, that's what she is. Her outfit was the talk of online. No, they're still talking about it. It was, and the two of them, her and President Obama coming in, the way they walked it was just like. It was like she brought the fresh air in. It was like, wow, we're going back to. I don't want to say normalcy, but we're going back to somewhere where we can be a little bit happier.
It was nostalgic. Yes.
It was. Yes. It was a throwback. Like, ooh, wish they were still there, but we're glad we're glad President Biden. And now I can say President Biden because we've been saying numbers. I said he who must not be named and blah, blah, blah. So now we can say President Biden and Vice President Harris. And also the Bernie Sanders memes with the mittens.
Yes.
That seems to people are just gone wild with that. Bernie
There
gone
was
wild.
one where he was on the New York City subway. Did you see that one?
Yes, and he fit perfectly.
Perfectly.
It was like he was sitting there. That's how people are on the train here. They're like that, or they're sleeping, or I was like,
I had to look and see. I was like, is that Bernie Sanders? Because it looked like a normal people sleeping on the train.
That's how they look. That's how it is. So I was loving the memes. It was great.
Well, I loved your was it anyway, I saw the meme where you put your face in Obama's place, Terry.
I did. I did so many things. I forgot.
Yeah, so cute.
I
And
did
you
a
were
couple
there
of videos.
with you were there with Michelle Obama.
I did a couple of videos. I put like the Ohio players on one, and then I did like the supermodel RuPaul song, because the way she was walking in, everybody was like, "Look at her walking in." It was just such it was just great. And then somebody had a side by side of her from the last inauguration. You know, and then they had another meme with her coming in this way. So
she just floated in. That color was so vibrant.
It was. And then they got one with her and Kamala looking at each other like that. It was just it's so many. It's so many.
Wow.
Great.
It was a good time. I really.
Yeah.
May I just interrupt for a moment, because you had mentioned Michelle Obama's outfit, and it was very obviously colors mean things during at this time, and so getting into a little bit of pop culture here, but I wanted to mention that her outfit was by Black designer Sergio Hudson. Mm-hmm. So it's we've seen this. Obviously, she did the same thing when she was first lady, where she actually made an effort to include new designers. In her, up and coming designers in her thing. So I think fashion is such a big part of the American landscape, and it's also a huge moneymaker. In case people think fashion is frivolous, it is not frivolous. People who live in New York City, I did a presentation one time, and at that point, it was about 1/3 of people that lived in New York City worked in fashion in some sort of way, which whether it was a financial end, making the fasteners, some sort of way people worked in fashion. So it is a huge moneymaker. So I wanted to mention that.
It is a huge part of the economy. I was pleasantly surprised by the resurgence of maxi coats. So I was like, oh, okay.
And wasn't that cool?
No, look, I was always
and wide leg pants. Mm-hmm.
But see, the maxi coat and the wide leg pants was always a thing. Always. Mm-hmm. Other people just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, other people forgot about it. Because she really rocked that outfit. I was like, huh.
Yeah, when she was first lady, she did the same thing. And on her tour, I was going to say on her book tour, Becoming, that this designer you named, Tachi, he did some outfits for her on the tour.
Sergio Hudson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when she did the book tour, there was talk about when she came out, she had on some thigh-high boots or something, and she had on another thing, and it was just like a pow. It was like, wow. And then don't forget the hair. So we gotta think about her hair, because she released some pictures of her natural hair, like just curly, like she didn't do anything to it. It just. And then she came out and had this. So her hairstylist, we got to give some love to. Lakeisha's here with a comment.
Yes.
Hi, Lakeisha.
Hey, Lakeisha. Lakeisha says, Terry, I'm going to let you push buttons.
Okay, here I go.
They showed 4 of them maxi coats. And Lakeisha said, I need a few. I know I need a few.
Yeah, J-Lo had white. Hers was white.
It's like they all had a meeting. Like, look,
I'll let you know.
I don't give a damn what color you wear, but we're gonna wear maxi coats.
Okay. So
they had a meeting in the ladies' room.
Somebody, I don't know who it was that walked out with beside J-Lo, but there was somebody else who had on a whole totally white outfit with wide leg pants, and that coat was off the chain.
That was J-Lo.
No, not J-Lo.
No, J-Lo.
There was someone in the audience?
Somebody that was walking by in the procession. I'm like, who is that had that outfit?
I missed that.
Right. And we have Mark Ward over here in the clubhouse.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Hey.
morning.
We get to hear the jokes now.
Yeah, we get to hear them.
So, but the outfit, now J-Lo wasn't no slouch either, but I'm telling you, whoever had that white on, it looked like white wool.
Yolanda's saying one of the daughters or granddaughters or something. We can look it up.
Okay.
The pictures. So
Yeah, so
we'll find
somebody
them.
had on, anyway, it was nice. I was like, whoa.
There is one other thing about fashion. So it's amazing how fashion will take anything and make it a fashion moment. So High Snobiety, which is actually a publication that is geared towards street culture or street fashion, actually did a whole shop the look for Bernie Sanders. But what they did is they did it with, I was like, really? The man just left on the subway and you're around the train and you're already, but they had a whole shop look from head to toe.
Wow.
Obviously, they did high end of it, but in terms of what he did, his mittens, which everybody's like, mittens, really? But it was made by Jen. They were made by Jen Ellis, who's a teacher from Essex Junction, Vermont, and she gave them to him about 2.5 years ago. And then she was surprised when he started wearing them on the campaign trail. They're made of repurposed wool sweaters. They're lined with fleece made from recycled plastic bottles. So I think that was also a statement. You know, he has a very strong stance on the environment. So I think that's another statement.
And they look warm too.
Well, he said he's from Vermont, and we know how to stay warm in Vermont. So we are not playing up here.
Exactly.
That was great. That was really great.
Well, someone actually did an interview with him and was asking him about all the memes, and he was saying, you know, it was just about staying warm.
It's the internet and that's social media, and that's how, you know, the younger generation, Gen Alpha and Gen Z, that's how, you know, they show their connection with Bernie and, you know, what's going on. So
and it was damn funny. I'm sorry.
It was too. And it was funny. It was hella funny.
Well, while we have you in here, Touch, you know, what else do you have for us from social media?
Okay, so let's talk about social media, or you mean just media in general?
Just media in general, because we're going to do social media with Terry.
Correct. All right. So you're wanting me to go first. Great. Okay. So let's talk about who was number one in terms of the inauguration. We hadn't talked about that. CNN. They've been really doing their thing and pulling lately. CNN ended up being number one. They were the top-rated network on all television during the inauguration of Joe Biden. And they drew in 7.7 million total viewers during the common inauguration coverage period from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And they were also the number one network when President Biden took the oath of office and gave his inaugural address. They captured 9.9 million for that pivotal first half hour out of all the different networks. So CNN lately has been doing a lot in terms of their ratings. And that's important to watch, because what does that mean? That also means that's where advertisers are going to look to spend dollars if the trend continues. So they're going to be able to point to these things and use the numbers as data to show them, look how many people watch us. Yes, TV as a linear platform is on the decline, but it will never go away. It's just evolving. So that's look to see what if CNN. This will be interesting, because what they've got to do now is leverage this. Look for more news programs. Look for things outside, a little more outside of news, which they've always done. But I think they're going to try and capitalize on that. So don't be surprised if you see some new types of things from CNN. Reminded me of back in the day. I don't know if you guys used to watch CNN back in the day, but when I was little, I've always been into fashion. So I used to watch Style with Elsa Clench. I don't know if you remember that, but it was a fashion program. It was on CNN. So look for some more things of that caliber on CNN because of this. So not directly because of this, but capitalizing off of it. All right. So I won't talk about Parler because that is Terry and Amazon. But so I'll
We'll let her have that because that's
we'll let her have that.
No, go ahead,
Yeah,
Tati, because I didn't have anything for them. Go ahead. I
Oh,
love
really?
No, well, it wasn't for them specifically, but it was the court case. So the judge has rejected Parler's attempt to force Amazon to host it. So as you know, they sued Amazon, saying you must host. No, they don't have to do the hell anything. They don't have to host you. And so Amazon, according to this judge, Amazon was in their rights, or Amazon Web Services, I should say, AWS, was well within their rights to shut down Parler. That they ruled Thursday. So
because they were providing the servers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. So if you don't know,
understand the relationship. Go ahead.
Yes. So Amazon Web Services does the hosting for a lot of major social media platforms, a lot of major people that do live streaming, all this live stuff that you see done nowadays, whereas before it was like a microwave truck and a satellite and all of that. A lot of the things you see the news doing, it's Amazon Web Services that is providing the space for that. So it's a big deal when they say, almost anything goes on Amazon. So if you piss them off, that means you've really done something wrong.
Exactly. You went too far.
See, a lot of people don't realize that Amazon Web Services is the backbone for many websites. For many,
majority.
The majority, because I don't think. I mean,
Microsoft has the cloud services also, but Amazon has overtaken them.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so yeah, you want to just no. And if they blocked you or told you no, there must be a reason.
Well, you signed on the dotted line when you opened the account, or you signed up with AWS. You signed on the dotted line and said, I promise not to do this, that, and the other. And you did it. So that's why the judge said no.
But you know what? The thing to me is like, how can any reasonable attorney really take this case? I mean, that's something that's like, are you really this daft? I would say, I'm sorry.
Dr. Yeah, I was listening to something, and so attorneys, some of them are not reasonable, because how can a reasonable attorney be in on the insurrection?
Yes.
I was like, excuse me.
Another he who must not be named that was America's mayor, and he really wasn't. So, but let's not veer into
there. Yes,
veer into the
Well,
politics.
Al has, for your viewing pleasure, Al has put the link in the live chat over here on StreamYard for Amazon's code of conduct, in case you want to.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. But you know who you need to give it to? You need to send that to the good folks at Parler, because apparently they didn't read it before they took it to court.
Thank you, Al.
And speaking of our good friends, not these people, they're not associated with Parler. We have some, we got Yolanda Lattimore is over here on Clubhouse.
Hey.
And then I see her over here on Facebook too. She said, so I'm telling you all, whoever's over here on the live stream, it is so fun over here in the Clubhouse. You might want to join. And Alfredo, I think this would be a good platform for you as well, because you can share tips and things that you have related to the computer, the actual using of the computer. I see a lot of people talking about how to make money and do different things and whatever. But some people need to know, how do I fix
my password?
How do I fix normal stuff? You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about how to. I know you can do. Lakeisha said, "What is Clubhouse?"
We gotta let Tachi finish, because we veering off the Clubhouse land.
Okay.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's all very relevant.
Okay.
It's all right.
So continue, Dr. Tachi.
Oh, and you wanted me to continue? Okay. So, well, now where was I? So that's what happened with Amazon Web Services, and I think that people need to understand that whenever you don't own any of these, they are not public utilities. They exist, and they're supposed to do things for the public good, but they are a private company, so you have no rights when it comes to having your things on their platform if it violates their terms of service. It's one thing, because what will happen is, a certain other side will say, and I've seen this, on LinkedIn, and I think I talked about this before, that LinkedIn has some of the most uninformed people on there, and I'm like, and these are, you have a business, you say, okay, so says them. You can write any number of things, but I look at what they write sometimes, but I try not to. But I remember seeing, well, just remember this: when somebody wants to get a gay couple wants to get their cake baked at a bakery.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
You saw that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the same thing. Don't have time to explain to your daft, foolish self why it's not the same thing. And if you don't know, perhaps you should go back to school and get your money back, because the education system has failed you. What I'm not going to do is sit here and explain it to you, but it's a different thing altogether, So you see from the other side of the coin on this, as that type of thing. They're not violating a terms of service by asking to be served. You're violating a terms of service by putting things that are harmful to the public and against the public good. If you can't see that, I can't help you.
You signed a legal document when you signed up, people. That's not the same as
you started using it.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. And I saw that post and I was like, I'm not engaging, because like you said, I don't have time to educate you.
You need to call EEOC and get some education.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Google, what is my saying? Google it, which the same Google you have is what is available to us. So nobody has time for all of that.
A comment over here, and he's choosing not to use his voice on this one, so I'm going to put it up.
Okay.
It's an audio-based social media app. He's talking to Lakeisha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lakeisha, that answer was for you.
Yay. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Fantastic. Just a couple of more things.
Okay.
So let's talk about, we all know Miss Alex Trebek of Jeopardy. Well, the final episode of Jeopardy hit a 19-month ratings high. Friday, January 8th, it averaged 14 million total viewers and an 8.1 household rating, which is pretty high. And that is a 19-month high for Jeopardy. So, still making waves even on the other side. Good for you, Alex Trebek. Let's go back to and I meant to start off with this, but let's go back to the inauguration for a minute. There was a wonderful young lady there, who is the Youth Poet Laureate. Her name is Amanda Gorman. She has a book. It shot to the top of the Amazon bestsellers list after this. That usually never happens, like on its own. So, being on this, and I don't know if you listened to the poem. She's amazing.
She is.
It was wonderful.
22
years old. She had and I used to judge a lot. I used to be really into slam poetry and poetry ciphers, and especially when I lived in DC, and I used to judge slam poetry. So I heard that slam poetry come out of through cadence. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I heard the cadence too.
Yeah, and I love how she was using her hands, and I was just like, it was just wonderful. Bravo.
Fantastic. So she's got two books. A book based on her inauguration poem, The Hill We Climb, was at the top spot on Amazon in hours. And she has a children's book called Chain Sings, a children's anthem. They were number 1 and number 2, respectively, on social media. She tweeted, "I am on the floor. My books are number 1 and 2 on Amazon after one day."
Wow.
And so, remember, we were talking about this. This is why you need to be prepared, because you never know when that one day is going to hit. and you need to have all your little ducks in a row so that you can ride the opportunity.
Mhm. You're talking to all of us.
Yeah, well stated.
Absolutely. So that's what I have. There's a lot of inauguration news, a lot of other things going on, but I will yield to Terry.
Okay, well, we're going to move Terry into the spotlight here. Just a moment. Hello, how are you, Terry? What's happening with social media?
Hey, so yeah, wow. I'm still overwhelmed by all of the good stuff from this week. So, and the Clubhouse talk. I don't want to talk about it, so I'm gonna not talk about it. But
Okay,
yeah,
so let me put this one comment up right here
okay.
from Tati. Lakeisha says she was ready. If she had been waiting, she would have missed the wave.
Yes. So she was
Mhm.
ready. She was ready. Good.
She did that.
Yes, and stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go.
Exactly. All right. So for this week in social media news, let's start with WhatsApp. We talked about WhatsApp last week, and remember there was a whole kerfuffle, upset. People were like, "Oh my god!" And remember, Elon Musk tweeted out "Use Signal," and then the Signal app exploded with the downloads. They couldn't keep up with it. So
Okay.
the follow up for WhatsApp is that they're delaying the enforcement of the privacy terms by 3 months because of the backlash. So they said that they won't enforce the planned update to its data sharing policy until May 15th, because of the confusion about what WhatsApp and Facebook wanted from the users. So it triggered a lawsuit. Remember that, and people were just upset. Like, Facebook, what are you doing with my privacy and my information? So so this is the statement. We're now moving back the date on which people will be asked to review and accept the terms. No one will have their account suspended or delayed on February 8th. We're also going to do a lot more to clear up the misinformation about how privacy and security works on WhatsApp. And then they're going to review the policy and before May 15th. So that's the follow up for that, because it was such a big deal. And I don't use WhatsApp, so
I don't either, so I'm not familiar with what's going on.
like Signal and Telegram. Telegram was another private messaging app that has security encrypted keys, so you have a secure conversation. So Telegram got the benefit of this, everybody, the backlash, everybody upset, rightly so. And also Signal, because Elon Musk tweeted out 2 words, use Signal, and everybody ran over to Signal. So those are 2 private messaging apps that are the same as WhatsApp, but they have better security and they use encrypted keys. So the ability to hack and break in is a little less. It's not 100%. I mean, it's not Fort Knox, but you can feel a little bit more secure.
I wanted to interject real quick because Alfredo had a comment here. He said, I'm using Telegram voice options over Clubhouse instead. So
Okay.
I wanted you to explain that Clubhouse is totally different.
I saw that comment. I was going to mention it. So Clubhouse is community conversations that are public. You can have private conversations on Clubhouse, but there's not that level of encryption and security that we're talking about with Signal and Telegram. Those 2 apps, Signal and Telegram, WhatsApp, there's a couple others, but these are the main ones in the discussion, that they have a level of privacy and they use a level of encryption keys. There's a number, I think it's 128 something. There's some numbers that go with it. The higher the number, the higher the security when the messages are going back and forth. Now, Telegram and Signal, you can talk to groups on there, but it's not Clubhouse. Clubhouse is something else. It's public community conversations where you're meeting people that you don't know. Telegram and Signal, you have to invite. You have to be invited to, connect with each other or in a group. So it's public versus private, and community conversations versus private messages.
And I was mentioning that for Alfredo, it would be good for him because he can offer in Clubhouse, you're offering help and value and that type of thing, which in turn turns into business.
Because Clubhouse, state the name, Clubhouse. What happens in a clubhouse? The club gets together and they talk and they have a meeting, right? So that's why they call it Clubhouse. So it's not private messaging.
Now, Lakeisha says this, I think she's talking about WhatsApp. I only use out of the country or speaking to someone else out of the country.
Okay, yes. WhatsApp is popular in other countries. That's why some, people here use it, because you may have family or something that are using it there. But they can switch to Telegram. It's free. There's no charge, just like WhatsApp. So it may be an option to get, hey, we want to have, more security without our private messaging. Maybe we should all move to Telegram or Signal.
And then Yolanda has a comment, although she could have said it over here because Yolanda's in the clubhouse over here.
Yeah.
We like to hear your voice sometime, Yolanda. I guess I need to invite her up. Okay.
She says, I just like that the Clubhouse plays outside app. Okay.
All right. So I invited her to speak. So yes, now she's going to talk. We get to actually hear her.
Okay.
You're on the air, Yolanda.
You're on there. Debut, this chick.
Oh my, yes.
I thought this was just a listening room.
No,
Oh my God.
you get to talk. We get to actually hear you. Before, we just got to read your comments over there on the live stream.
And don't forget the recording part.
I literally just opened Facebook to go and drop the comment because I wanted to listen over here. And it actually sounds great from Clubhouse. And I can go about my day without having to stay on Facebook. And I can listen, through all the other apps and the work that I have to do. So that's why I was excited to find you on Clubhouse.
Yes, and I just want to let you know that we are recording because it's over here on StreamYard. You're being recorded. We just wanted to let you know. Anybody who is coming in, and if you want to talk, you will be recorded. And that is our, disclaimer for the morning. So
Yes.
Thank you, Yolanda. We actually get to hear your voice.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
All right, you can stay right there. Continue with our social media news.
Okay, so we're going to continue with more stories, more news. So let's talk about MeWe since we talked about Parler. Now,
What is MeWe?
I'm going to tell you. I'm glad. I'm glad
She's
you
about to
asked.
learn ya.
I'm glad you asked.
Thank you.
MeWe.
Educate me.
Yes, MeWe is promoting themselves now as the anti-Facebook social network because MeWe has been around since 2016, and I found out about MeWe a few years ago from Miss Eileen Smith, who's on top of all of the. Eileen is on it. Yes, Eileen Smith. Yeah. So she was, we have a private group on Facebook where we do work and focus. And she was like, let's move. I think it was during one of the times when Facebook was down or something. And she's like, hey, let's make a duplicate group over on this new thing called MeWe. I'm like, what the heck is MeWe, Miss Eileen? So we went over and did that. And we made the group and we kind of left it alone. And then now because of all of the political news about, a certain group of people feeling like their voice is being suppressed and there is, censorship and free speech. So MeWe is promoting themselves as the anti-Facebook where you can come over and, you don't have to worry about the privacy violations, surveillance. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about that, but every app is being looked at. So about targeting and political bias, and they feel like they're free to say what they want to say, just like on Parler. But I don't think the conversations are going the way that they went on Parler because they were really like violent and, planning.
I think too, Terry, people I would hope would be a little more cautious. After all, they are being sought out by several agents.
Common. Remember that. Common. That's why we Parler and everything. So MeWe is promoting themselves that they've added 2.5 million new users in the last week. They are currently sitting at almost 16 million members. Half of those members are outside of North America. So
that's scary. Go ahead.
There's It's also the #1 downloaded social media app in the Google Play Store and the #3 downloaded app out of all apps in that store. I don't have any details for iPhone users. That was all given.
Okay, so question T, whose servers are they on?
Probably Amazon.
Amazon Web Services, I bet.
What's that?
But here's the
I bet
thing.
it's Amazon Web Services.
Well, here's the thing. They may be over there and because on the website it says, you know, your private life is not for sale, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But
Right.
you're putting your private stuff out there. And
Right.
then here's my thing. Who is, if I'm talking to my clients because I'm using this for business, are my clients over there?
Exactly.
That is my only thing. Are the people that I talk to over there? They don't know about it.
That was the thing. I had an account for a couple of years because of Eileen and we just kind of left it alone because no one was using it. But now because of the Parler wave, people feel like, well, MeWe is kind of in between Parler and Facebook. Like it's not quite Parler, but they're trying to say, okay, if you're tired of Facebook doing this, that, and the other, come over here to MeWe. It's MEWE, MeWe. And like Fran says, are your clients there? No. But again, you know, if you got the time, you want to set up an account, go ahead. If you got free time, you really don't have to. But because Facebook is the Death Star, it's going to be around for a while. I don't know the Luke Skywalker that's going to come around and put the little bomb in it and blow it up. I don't know who that is, but they're coming. That means the next app. But for now, Facebook is here. It's not perfect, but it has some of the tools that you need. The people are there. So if you have time, investigate MeWe. If not, you don't have to worry about it. But I just wanted to mention because they're getting new users, you know, like Parler was getting new people and the whole anti-Facebook, anti-Twitter brigade is going there. So let them have their fun.
May I ask?
Yes.
Maybe right now it's in between Parler and Facebook, but do you think it's going to probably gear or veer more towards a Parler direction now that Parler is
I don't think so. I mean, like I haven't looked at it in a while. I did look at it a month or two ago, but it has the same tools like Facebook. Like you can make groups, you can do community stuff. And when I was there, I didn't see any kind of, you know, right wing stuff. I don't follow those kind of people, but I don't know.
So it's kind of like a knockoff.
Yes.
Okay, I want
on Facebook. So they were like, but it wasn't a right wing conspiracy cool kind of tool, if you know what I mean. But those Parler people have to go somewhere, so they may go to MeWe.
Would you like me to tell you where they can go?
To Mars.
Mark has a
Mars or someplace else.
Mark,
is there an expectation of privacy with any app these days, short of some new federal regulations, a little bit ridiculous? I mean, can we really expect any privacy at this point? I mean, I realize there are different levels of privacy, right? But for the most part, I mean, you can run, but you cannot hide. Exactly.
I was going to say that these people are nomads. They're packing up and move. Well, we're leaving Facebook and Twitter. We're going to Parler. And then now we're going to MeWe. And now we're going somewhere else. So they're kind of like, you're right, Mark, nomads. Where are they going to land? They're going to have to give up their flag because a lot of these people are QAnon. And
I know where they're going to go today.
Where?
Mars.
Yeah, they can go to Mars. They're going to have to put down their cause, their flag, or find another spot, but that's hard. So you see Parler, no.
Well, I think I told you guys a long time ago, privacy is delusional for people on the internet. There is no such animal. First of all,
Mark Zuckerberg came out and said he doesn't care about your privacy of
public space. And why are you posting pictures of stuff you don't want the public to see? Because you put it on private, okay? And somebody pushes a button at headquarters and suddenly your stuff is out there. Come on, people, use some common sense.
Here's something about Parler that people during the coup insurrection, terrorist act, whatever you want to call it, that people were posting themselves on Parler, and then they deleted it. But it's saved somewhere, people. Everything you post is saved in 2 or 3 spots, in 2 or 3 servers in different parts of the country. So if the FBI or whoever wants the information, there's a backup of a backup of a backup, because that's how systems work with the internet. So those people that deleted their videos where they were so proud and screaming and yelling, all of those people being rounded up and arrested. And they thought they deleted it, even on Instagram too. They thought because I deleted it that they can't find me.
Y'all, let's throw in the rock and hide in your hand. Lakeisha says, right when you put yourself out there, just keep your nose clean. And get when you get offline.
When you post something, think, is this something I want to live forever online? Even if I deleted it, lives forever.
Exactly.
You know, the interesting thing, and I can't remember her name now, but there was a social media strategist years ago that had come when I was an ambassador for Social Media Week Miami, and she said on a panel, you should be proud of whatever you post. And I think that's one thing, because if you think about it, all these people who post things that they're just, they cringe at every time they think about it, if they had taken maybe even 2 minutes to consider whether or not they wanted to post it, see how you feel after 2 minutes. If you're still very proud of it, then go with it. But then you have to be prepared for the onslaught that comes with it. If it is that, you have to be prepared for the comments and such. So all these people are, it's our country. Okay, and backtrack. Once once the FBI comes after you, start to back. Well, I didn't really say that.
Well, here's the 2 criteria I used to tell my teenage daughters. If you can't show this in front of the church, okay, or your mama, you don't need to be posting it, okay?
Hey. And that's that. Okay, so let's move on. I got a couple more, and then we can talk more, whatever we're going to do. I don't know. So here's one we don't talk about a lot about: Pinterest. Pinterest is testing new stories panel at the top of the feed in the Pinterest app. I looked at my Pinterest. I don't have it, but it will be the familiar circles when you go into Pinterest app at the top of your feed. Isn't that wonderful? Stories.
I love it.
I don't hear any excitement.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. So now Pinterest is doing stories and Facebook did stories, and they all copied Snapchat. So Facebook is not just the only one snatching people's ideas, because Pinterest wasn't doing stories before. Neither was LinkedIn or anybody else.
Right.
Well, but they're late to the party. However, the difference with Pinterest is because it's a maker's environment, they have an opportunity to show and demonstrate how to do the stuff that's on their page. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it probably will work in that aspect for Pinterest.
Right. So I got more details.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Can you see?
No, you have circled at the top. You have it
at the top, because they have story pins already. But so this is something new then.
Right.
Okay. Hold it up again.
Okay. Hold on. You don't have it because it's the beta test. It's in beta.
Okay.
Okay.
Circles. It will be circles. That's not it.
Okay. So this is something different from the stories that they already have.
Yeah. So it's a beta test of story pins, and they're doing it with a select group of creators right now. So what it is that it will let you highlight pins, and the story the story pins live within a pin. It's an actual pin that goes to the stories feature. So after the 24 hours, it doesn't disappear. It just goes back to being a pin. It's a way for you to highlight a pin.
It. Okay,
right.
I get it.
So that's what it is. It's a way to highlight a pin. So Pinterest is saying we're doing stories, but we're going to do it different, and we're testing it out first. So it's in beta. They don't know when it's going to be available to everyone. Just keep looking out. And I had photo of it. I was going to show it on the screen. I don't have it, but it looks like stories. It's the little tiny circles at the top of the feed.
Okay.
So just keep checking. If I don't know when it's coming out of beta, they're doing a slow rollout, so that'll be something to look for in Pinterest. So if you use Pinterest, you should be excited. Since we're talking about stories, let me. Yeah, so TikTok has a new Q&A feature, and it lets creators respond to fan questions using text or video. All right, so now here's the thing. If you don't use TikTok, let me explain this. You can respond to questions from people that follow you, but right now they're doing it with video answers. So now they're allowing people to do a Q&A feature, and it actually says Q&A where someone following you can tap that, and you can respond with text now, because they were responding with video. Because TikTok is the way they talk is video to video. You know, there's that remix feature when you see somebody's video you like, you can do a side-by-side remix. You can if somebody's dancing, you can do your own answer and dance side by side to them, and it shows both videos. So that's one of the things. But they're using this as a reply to comments with video, reply to comments with text. It's a way for them, the creator, when they're doing live streaming, if it's your TikTok and you're live streaming, it's hard to see all of the comments and respond. So this is a way for them to ask you a question and you can respond with text.
I think this is fantastic because I've seen several creators on TikTok who are teaching math.
Yes.
Or teaching some other subject.
A lot of
things
now, going on.
Now they can ask in real time and get the answer on screen.
Right. So this is how it works. So users will be able to designate their comments as questions by tapping the Q&A button in a video comment field, or they can submit questions directly through the Q&A link on the creator's profile page. So it's going to be a feature that stands out. It says Q&A. It's not one of the other features that's already there. So they're doing this because the creators need a way to communicate with fans when they're live streaming, and there won't be any limit to the number of questions that a creator can receive. And it simplifies the process of responding to questions when they're doing a live stream. So it's like, you know, when you're doing IG live, there's like so many comments and stuff, and you can only respond verbally. Well, now TikTok is saying you can respond with a Q&A if the person watching you presses the Q&A feature, and you can talk. This is besides the comments, because and this is a big deal because TikTok is the culture is based around commenting. Like the comments is the big thing in TikTok. Yeah. Okay, so does that make sense? Because
yes, it does.
Okay, so TikTok is rolling this out globally, and if you use TikTok, just keep an eye out for when you get the feature. All right, so one more, Instagram. Instagram, now this ties in with TikTok with the short form video. It's not a feature, but the Adam Mosseri, I hope I'm saying his name right, Mosseri, the head of Instagram, he's not happy with Reels on his
really?
Do tell.
So he was on a podcast. I don't remember the name of the podcast. I didn't, care to get that detail. But if you want to know, there's just search for it. You'll see the story, or ask me. I'll send you the link, and you want to hear his words. But he said he's not happy with Reels yet, and he said we have to be honest that TikTok is ahead of Instagram as far as Reels. Now, here's his quote. I'm not yet happy with it, he says. We're growing both in terms of how much people are sharing and how much people are consuming, but we have a long way to go, and we have to be honest that TikTok is ahead of them. All right? So he wants to consolidate the video formats in Instagram. What that means is there won't be a separate Reels. There won't be a separate IGTV. There won't be a separate something. What else is video in Instagram? It's a Reels, IG, IG Live. He wants to combine all those things into one tool and one feature.
Thank you.
And maybe it is easier that way instead of you can make it as long as you want, as short as you want, and all of that. And I don't have to go from this part of the app and try and figure out where I need to be.
Because see, there's been confusion. I've seen it myself. People are asking, what are reels? Where do you find the reels? Where's IGTV? You can make you can do an Instagram live and save it as an IGTV and then post it to your feed, and then it lives there. So there's a lot of confusion around the short form video aspect of Instagram, and the head of Instagram knows it and wants to do something about it. So look for that soon. When he didn't say, but that's what he wants to do.
Okay.
So it'll be less confusing to do short form video in Instagram. Hopefully, when Adam gets to combining this or however they're going to do it, because it's different places in Instagram. There's the feed, there's stories, there's IGTV, there's IG Live, there's Reels, there's Instagram Guides, there's DM. It's just a lot.
My eyes are rolling back.
People get confused. It's this. Don't feel bad if you're confused about what's going on Instagram, because it is confusing. So the head of Instagram says he knows that, and they want to beat TikTok, and they want to try to combine their short form video into one tool. What do you think about that?
Dr. Todd.
Well, I have a question about that. Do you think, there's a lot of confusion because there are too many components, because just like Instagram, which is owned by Master of None, when you're owned by somebody that's Master of None, that kind of makes you, in a sense, Master of None. The only thing that saves Instagram is they already had a Master of Some before they were acquired by. They had a very specific goal.
They were a thing before.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's what saved them. But do you think that in your opinion, is the consolidation a good thing? Yes, I do. Okay.
Because it will cut down on the confusion. I mean, the people that are using Reels and IG Live and IGTV, they got a handle on it. But there's a whole component, and I'm saying this because I've seen the questions in Facebook and everywhere else. People are confused about Reel when they brought Reels out. Well, what does that do? We know what it does because we talked about it, but there's a whole bunch of people that are like, I don't know how to use it. And I'm not talking about Gen Z. They know, and Gen Alpha and influencers, they know how to use the tools. I'm talking about the older people, older generation who are business owners and want to use Instagram as a tool to grow their business. They're the ones that confused. Because I'm talking to someone now that I met on Clubhouse that has a business in Colorado, and she's getting a website. She didn't know what Reel, she didn't know this, she didn't know that. So I had to help her with that. And so we're talking about the older wave coming on now to Instagram, not knowing and being confused, because we're confused. Because I every time I bring up something that Instagram does new, was like, okay, that's another piece of the puzzle. That's another place to make content. That's another place. It's separate. And people think it's, well, all I have to do is come on Instagram and post a photo. That's the lowest form of engagement now on Instagram. The lowest. Posting a photo is the lowest. The highest is Reels. So if you want, this is because I hear the conversations in the groups on Facebook and other places. How do I grow my Instagram? There's no engagement. They took away the hashtags because of the political stuff that was going on with He Who Must Not Be Named. So that tanked engagement for a lot of people. And we're talking about business owners who spend money to use the app in the form of ads and different things. So they want to get the return on investment. And Instagram was like, okay, well, we're suppressing hashtags, so you you won't be able to be found that way. They just turned hashtags back on. It's not on for stories. Their Instagram is also looking at SEO tools. I was going to talk about that on Tuesday. So there's going to be another factor that you got to look at. It was a lot for people who want to use Instagram for business. They're new. They're coming over from Facebook. They're the older crowd, and it's too much. That's why. Sorry for going on. But
no, that was good because I was trying to post something in the moment for one of my clients. We were walking and talking, and I'm like, where is the doggone button? You push it and make it go. I just wanted to go live, and I'm like,
the buttons are moved. Yeah. Yeah. The buttons are moved.
Constantly moving. And it's it's annoying and it's too much.
It wasn't the cheese. I was just like,
Instagram has there's a billion, probably over a billion users now, but Instagram is going to see more growth, but not if they keep confusing us with the buttons and what is what and moving this and that. So if they combine it into one, it's going to be less confusing, which means people will use the app.
Yes.
If they're confused, they're not going to use it. I don't care how popular or you could get growth in this and that.
A confused mind will not make a decision.
That's the same thing with Snapchat. Remember, there's an older crowd that don't use Snapchat because they don't know, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? Whereas Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they take to it like a duck to water. They're like, oh, you just swipe up, swipe left. They know that. But
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of like the concept of urban sprawl. Remember how that was like a big thing? I remember when I was little, they're like urban sprawl, where instead of growing smartly and slowly because they're trying to compete with everybody else, they hurry up and build and build and build, and then you look someplace in Texas and wonder why the ground is sinking, or even here, because you did not take the time to build things out properly.
Right.
So you're just putting, oh, well, let's take this away and let's put the button here. Okay, let's put this here tomorrow. No, maybe we should put it here. Yeah. And you keep switching things around. It's like the urban sprawl of the social media world. It just keeps spreading out and changing rather than steady, slow, smart growth. People don't like abrupt changes. I don't care if they're millennial or Gen Z.
Yes, and when you're saying that, Tati, I just thought about, remember when TV shows used to move the time and switch the time around, and they would have like, there's a great viewing audience Thursday night at 8, but we're going to switch it to Sunday at 9, and people get confused. They don't know where it is, so the viewership drops off. It's the same thing. You're confusing people, so I'm just going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And
okay, so
go ahead, Terry.
No, go ahead. Did anybody have anything else to say about that or any of the stories? I'm done. That's your wrap up for the week.
Or Yolanda on Clubhouse, you have anything you want to weigh in on? Okay.
Sounds like a resounding no.
We have Mark.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay, you didn't want to say anything? Okay. So yeah.
The time we have your voice and you're not, I need you to say something else.
Take the stage.
Yeah, he's there. He just doesn't have anything to say yet. Okay, so social media.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. Things are changing. The way that we're getting discoverability, you see that with Clubhouse. Instagram is doing different things. I think I see the way they are going. I'm going to talk about it on Tuesday. I think I hadn't decided, but since we're talking about it now, it might be a good thing to think about because of the way we're using social media for business growth. And when I talk about social media, it's for business owners, for business growth. Not for, kids are just using it and posting whatever. There's definitely two paths for Instagram. There's a influencer path and there's a small business owner path. And the two groups shouldn't do things the same way. And that's what I mean about the confusion over Reels and IG Live and IGTV. The influencers get it because that's a younger crowd and they're using it. But there's a onboarding people from Facebook who are business owners in an older group that are like, okay, what is all this? And I'm confused. So I kind of see that happening with Instagram.
And then the other thing is that it's not always advantageous to pass that task off to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
No. How I can post for you. Really?
Yeah.
That is sometimes not a good idea.
Yeah.
No, especially when it's not going to be in your voice or the way that you would do it, then it's really not advantageous.
Right. It's not, social media is not a set it, forget it. And people want social media to be set it and forget it, but it's not. I mean, there are parts that you can automate, sure, but you got to keep your eye on the ball. As you can see when we had the events of January 6th, a lot of social media things that were on automatic were like, what? Okay, you're not really here. You're not really paying attention to what's happening in the moment. So you got to know how to put the brakes on and say, wait a minute, we might not, we want to pause this for a week or so or whatever, just a couple of days to catch the feeling of what's going on social media and the mood of the country. So you might not want to have those things you have automated, and when they go out on social media, they don't make sense because you're not there. Yeah,
because
right.
It's like, hey, stop in today and get a free donut. We're right next to the Capitol. You wouldn't have wanted to do that, right?
No,
so you absolutely do have to. It's not set it and forget it, especially if you're a social media manager or strategist. You do need to go in and say, is this still relevant? Has something else happened that is more relevant or that will get the message across better? You have to do that.
It's like that, the scene with Lucy and the candy and the conveyor belt
factory.
And it's automated. If something happens, so you can have it automated. It works, but you got to be there in case something happens. And things will happen. You'll wake up and something is down, or you have a coup going on, or something, and you got to pull the brake and stop the production line and say, "Wait a minute, I need to craft something thoughtful." Or here's an idea. Don't say anything at all. That's an option too. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Hey, Pat Murray, how you doing?
Hey, Pat.
Okay, so the live Terry had some stuff. She was
okay.
Do you really want to talk about this? I have a couple of videos. Let's see if I can get my share screen up here. Hold on a moment.
So, yeah.
I turn on the audio.
So Pat, while you're doing that, oh, you're ready. Never mind.
So I'm going to start this video.
Tell us what it's about before you go there.
Okay, it's about the fact that electric cars can be charged now in 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Wow.
I know.
Hey.
You ready?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Make sure you mute you and have your audio on.
Electric car battery
Let me
fully
mute
charge
me.
in just 5 minutes. Contemporary charging infrastructure would need to be upgraded, though, to allow for 5-minute charging. So Richard Branson's other space company, the one that deals with commercial stuff, not super wealthy space tourists, has just marked a major milestone. It has successfully launched satellites into space. Virgin Orbit makes use of an old Boeing 747 airliner, adapted to launch a rocket from its wing, which then blasts off to deliver a payload, in this case, 10 small satellites. Not to be outdone, Elon Musk's SpaceX managed a record-breaking 8th reuse of its Falcon 9 rocket this week as well. And finally, do not adjust your TV set, phone, tablet, or computer screen. The images you're seeing here aren't real, but a graphics test from British developers Ninja Theory from its new game, Project Mara. Details about the game are scarce, but we do know it will be set in one apartment and draw on elements of the horrors of the human mind. I don't know about the horrors of the human mind, but those surfaces look like an absolute nightmare to keep clean.
Okay, so that was a series of different stories from the BBC. And you have to unmute, Terry.
Yes. But the main story I wanted to see was that you could now charge a car in 5 minutes. Okay, that the battery company has developed, and I think it's called Storgo, and they're located in Britain. And they've developed this technology, because before you had to sit there for a while to charge your car. So
that's why they put it in a mall or somewhere at a coffee shop, or near a coffee shop, so you can go somewhere while the car was charging.
Exactly. There was also an article on how there are wearables that are being developed that allow you to manipulate your computer screen, your tablet, the things that have touch screen, by putting this device on your wrist, which looks sort of like a Fitbit. And based on the movements of your hand, you can click on things, you can move your screen without touching things, because in light of all that's going on, people don't want to do touch a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
see, there's
also,
the wearables I was talking about. Oh, I'm always talking about wearables.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And now there's a ring that allows you to turn your phone on and off. Like if you're exercising and you want to hear your music on your phone, you don't have to go over and touch the phone. You can just handle this ring. So there are a lot of wearables that are being developed to help you navigate during this particular season where people don't necessarily want to touch like
And
public
also good
screens.
for people with accessibility issues.
Yes.
It would be good for them.
Yes, if you have like a prosthetic hand,
Or
it
carpal
is
tunnel or
making
something.
it more functional. Yes,
Mhm.
as far as being able to interact with your computer and your electronics.
Right.
So
That's
I thought those two things were interesting.
very interesting.
Surely.
Saving us time, saving us
Yep.
money, and making things just more adaptable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have.
Nice to see when it's when these things are actually mass adopted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it sounds like that we've covered all four aspects of Tech Life Weekly. We talked about social media, we talked about media, we talked about new tech, and then we talked about tech history. Is there anything else? Anybody in the audience got something they want to say? Hey, Pat. Larry.
Should we talk? Are we going to mention that? Isn't there a new Samsung that came out or something?
That's right. There is one. Okay, TJ, have at it.
Oh no, I don't have the details. I just know it's there.
I saw the commercials for it. Dr.
Mhm.
Tachi, you are a resident Android user. What's up with the new Samsung?
About the S21?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, the S21. I don't have like all the details on the features because I like the S9 that I have. So I'm not paying for anything else. But yeah, so the Samsung Galaxy S21. Actually, the release date, yeah, I think was it yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. I was going to do some more reading about it, but I like I said, Clubhouse is consumed, so I gotta get back to work. But yeah, I was interested in it. Why did I talk? Somebody was talking about it online somewhere. I was like, wow, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's got 8K video.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, but you got to have 8K stuff to play it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is how the average Joe and Joanna gets caught up in buying stuff they don't need. Great, right. You have 8K. Let's talk about what all of this is. I don't know if people understand exactly what that means. That means that so you have pixels per square inch on or square centimeter. I always forget which one on your screen. And the more pixels you have, the sharper the image is. So when we talk about 1080p, that's high definition. That means there's 1,080 pixels per square centimeter, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
When we talk about 4K, that's 4,000 pixels. 8K is 8,000. 16K is 16,000. I've actually played with a 16,000K camera before.
Wow.
It's like you're there. Wow. But the thing is, you have to have a whole ecosystem for any of this to work, which means that in order to get the full benefit of 4K or 6 or whatever, the signal needs to be transmitted in 4K, or it needs to be recorded. It needs to be recorded in 4K, needs to be transmitted in 4K, and then it needs to be watched on a 4K television. So it's not just about shooting it in 4K. The whole ecosystem needs to follow to get the full benefit. Now, that doesn't mean you won't see a difference. You shall see a difference. You'll see some clarity. You'll see better sharpness. You'll see more vibrancy in colors because there are more pixels that you're looking at, right?
Yes.
That make up this picture. The thing is, if the entire ecosystem is not using 8K or 4K or 16K or whatever K, you're not going to get the full benefit. So that's why I look at people, I bought a 4K TV. Why? Okay. They don't know. They don't know.
But that's
because
like
it was on sale.
But that's like with live streaming, Tachi, and there was a demand for before StreamYard got the 1080. They were like, "Oh, well, we want the 1080." But if you do it going to Facebook, they only do 720p. So,
720.
right, you can do
720.
4K, but it's going to be 720 on Facebook.
And 720 still looks good to the majority of people
Yes.
who are watching it. They're not
Yes.
looking for 4K.
Yes.
Exactly. I think sometimes that's us, those of us that are in the industry, that we're trying to, levels and layers of technology and things that you actually do not need to make you seem more knowledgeable. Now, that doesn't mean that these things are not needed. No,
Yes.
I think they're great. I love technological toys, but keep in mind that the more layers of electronics and technology you use, the less you know what the hell the problem is when something does go wrong. So you could be in the middle of a live stream and something goes out, the sound or whatever, you don't know what the hell the problem is because you've got 10 million machines running. People, sometimes it's just better to keep it simple, especially if you are not very technically astute, or even if you are. Keep it simple. You don't have to prove to me you know. I will see in what's that song we used to sing in Catholic school? They will know we are Christians by our love. I'll know you're an expert by your product.
Yeah. I think too many people are trying to be NBC, ABC, CBS with all the stuff that they got going on. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
It's a secret. NBC, CBS, and everybody else trying to be like us right now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Preach, teach, reach in
Have
church.
you
Yeah.
noticed that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they have to, because they know that we all in this space have mastered the secret to programming and making programming look good without their help, right? So whereas everybody was clamoring, and still are, some people are still trying to clamor to get on regular linear television, but there was a gatekeeper there.
Yes.
There was a gatekeeper there. And if they deemed that your programming was not worthy, you weren't going to get on unless you knew somebody. And that's still the case. But now what has democratized it is these consumer electronics that are available to make your program look good. And so now, because there's a pandemic, they're scrambling, trying to make their things look good. I know, I see you using a ring light. I see the lights in your eyes. Don't use that. But that's...
Because before all of that, Dr. Tachi, there's some big back in the day cameras that you had to wheel in on a truck and a dolly and a whole bunch of other stuff. I was like, oh my God.
Let me tell you. And even out in the field, when I learned on the one you had to put on your shoulder. And that really wasn't that long ago. That was like in the 90s.
Yeah,
so there was all this bulbous equipment, and now it has become so compact and yet just as effective as the larger ones were, right? So simplicity. The less layers you have, the easier it is to figure out what the problem is when something goes wrong. Just a tidbit there.
There you go.
Is it plugged in?
Exactly. And that could be it, but you don't know because the doohickey thingamabob is going through the WhatsApp and everything else. And so you're like, well, is it the doohickey thingamabob or is it the WhatsApp and the cogs and the wheels? You don't know. So, but if you didn't have all that, you might be like, well, let me just look and see if it's plugged in.
See, I like simple because I want to connect with the person that I'm trying to connect with. And I don't have to have a whole station truck. I have this.
And StreamYard, I'm giving them props again. They made this real simple.
We love them. We love you guys.
It is very, very simple. I was like, oh, push a button, do this. It's not complicated. Zoom, on the other hand, I was like, Lord. What?
Zoom is rubbish.
Zoom, and I know everybody is using, well, not everybody, most people are using Zoom because they were the first ones out the gate.
Right.
But it is
low-hanging fruit.
Popularity.
Has anybody tried Hopin?
I
have.
How is it?
I've used Hopin before because I've gone to a bunch of events. It's an event platform, which is actually really cool. So you could do conferences that way. A lot of people, they've been doing it for quite some time. But now that they have, I have not tried it, and I don't even know if they're fully integrated with StreamYard yet. When I looked yesterday, I don't think it looks like they're not fully integrated with StreamYard yet. I need to find out. But, you know, again, that can work really well if you're doing a large scale event because the pricing can be prohibitive.
Right, because it's like Eventbrite. It's where you host, you have an event that you are sending out. Like if you were having a conference, they would stream the conference out for you. It's not like what we're doing here where you just jump in and go. It's a little bit more, you know, people can register and people can, and it reminds me kind of like Blue Jeans, except for the public.
Yeah, Blue Jeans.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. There's still, not to belabor the point, but there's still a disconnect or still a wide gap between this type of broadcasting and streaming and then the event platform streaming, because the cost wise, there's like almost nothing in the middle. So what they do is they're like, yeah, there is a free tier or there's a tier that is basic, but then that doesn't allow you to do certain things, or it only gives you a certain amount of licenses, or each per, like with Hopin, you get for the lowest price, you get you have 5 moderators, or you have moderators, so you get 1 with that tier, and each moderator or whatever it's called gets 100 attendees. So if you're trying to have a event with like 300, you're out of luck. Now, what I don't know is whether or not you can upgrade and buy these things separately like you can with Zoom. If you could do that, then that may not be a problem, but it was like $99 for each, like basically $1 per person in a way. So you end up spending like $300 versus the 99, if you know. So you have to decide whether or not what you're doing is big enough to warrant spending that kind of money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it's not for the I would like to say mom and pop live streamer.
Right. Conferences, boules.
They've done stuff with the UN. They've done stuff.
It's okay. So there's small business, there's mid-sized business, then there's the larger corporations. Hopin is kind of like mid-sized corporation going that way.
Right, going down.
Yeah, they're not exactly. They're not small business
oriented. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Got it.
And it's the same thing with Whova is a similar platform. I don't know if you've ever used Whova, but I use it for the first time when I went to Podfest last year. And then the second time they did Podfest, it was the second time that year they did Podfest, it was virtual. So they used Whova again to a larger extent than just kind of management software for an event. And I actually really liked it and it was great. But again, the pricing is really not for smaller organizations.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so that's something, if you're thinking about doing your events, you need to really do your research to find out what it's going to take to get you where you need to be, because you have this part down, but then you still have that other half of getting people, you know, the tickets and getting their seating and all of that has to happen.
Okay.
That's a full-fledged event.
Wow.
Okay.
All righty.
Well, this has been an exciting Tech Life Weekly. We have Mark over here in the house on Clubhouse. Oh, I'm like it over here in the house in the Biz Chick Clubhouse. And Dr. Tachi, thank you for stepping in. TJ, as always, Terralina, everybody who watched live over on StreamYard. Yolanda was in here with us at the Clubhouse for a minute. Patricia Murray and Keisha. Alfredo. Yay. And everybody, thank you. Well, looking forward to seeing you on Monday. We'll be in the Clubhouse talking coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations Monday morning at 8 a.m. TJ will be here on Tuesday, and she'll be talking all things social media and media. And you said SEO. We're going to learn about that?
What? You want me to?
No, because
Oh.
Tuesday you said you were going to talk about
Yeah,
Instagram.
I mean, it was an idea brewing. I'm not.
Not quite sure. Okay.
You know, it's going to be about discoverability, and it probably
Okay.
will be Instagram, but I might throw that in. I threw it in today because of the article about Adam
Conversation, yes.
Mosseri. So
Okay. And then Dr. Tachi's got Mediascope on Facebook. Anywhere else Mediascope shows up, or we're just on Facebook right now?
Yeah. So we go back next week. Next Wednesday will be our first
yeah,
first
I've been
episode.
missing my media scope. I'm like, what's going
Look,
on?
I need to sleep.
I'm like,
So-
There
what's
were
going
so
on?
many things to talk about on media. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, there's always a lot. So we'll be back next Wednesday on, I mean, for the
Okay.
time being, we'll still be on Periscope, but Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, we will be on YouTube, probably on Twitch as well. We'll see. And we're looking to see where else we can be. So just stay tuned.
And
Okay,
drink
so,
your food and drink emojis.
quick
Yes.
question for you, TJ. And now Periscope is ending their
March.
reign,
Mhm.
and it's going to turn over to just Twitter Live. Is that right?
That's what I'm assuming. There hasn't been any official
Yeah,
word
but,
yet.
damn.
So yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll
All
see.
right. Because somebody was talking about it on the Clubhouse. I was going to jump in and say something. I was like,
But you're already on Twitter. It already goes to Twitter. So
right. But I'm like, just let me
It
shut up.
does.
Because they were
right,
like,
so
Periscope. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. Periscope is closing their doors.
the app itself is going away, but the functionality is not, because it was already integrated. So
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
just a question of, those of us who use
app.
encoders
Right.
go live. Now it's like, all right, well, there's going to be a new stream key, or you're going to be able to connect directly to Twitter's API as
Yeah.
opposed to Periscope.
Periscope.
So
Right.
but just say something. Tell us what the hell you want us to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because
Twitter.
we're like, oh, and then I wanted to mention Textafo just said that they are, this is the text to have people subscribe to different things.
Mhm.
They are going to stop using the short codes because AT&T, T-Mobile have done something. They changed their,
They have to use a number, right? I remember you
yeah,
said that. They're
so
moving a number.
use the
phone
text to a longer number, in a 10-digit number instead of the 5-digit code you
Right.
used to be able to do. They're
Okay.
changing that. So that's happening on March 21st. That will go into effect. So if you're using a short digit code, you need to talk with your text provider if you're doing it, to find out what is happening, because some things are changing in the industry.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, now we're done.
Yay.
Okay, guys.
Mark, go ahead.
I will be winning the $1 billion Mega Million lottery tonight, so it was nice knowing all of you.
Thanks, Mark. Is
We
no
know
longer
where you
our
are.
friend.
We'll hunt you down.
Yes, we will. We want to cut.
Yeah. Get the pie cutter out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we ain't gotta have that big a slice. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us live on the replay, on Clubhouse, wherever you are watching. We just want to say thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. It's warming up outside in different places. I understand it's still cold in some, but in California, we're warming up.
All right.
Lucky.
See, Tachi's always warm. Florida is always warm.
It was 45 today.
Oh, but that's not bad.
Not
that's not
New
bad.
York.
That's actually quite warm. I consider
It
that
is.
warm.
16. It's 16 in Chicago.
It's 16 in Chicago.
Okay.
That is wow.
Way.
But we'll send you some. Can we send him some
Bernie
Sanders mittens or something?
We could do that.
She should be. Look, now, see, hopefully she was ready, because somebody probably want to order them mittens.
They are going to blow up that
Exactly.
mitten thing.
Exactly.
You better
Exactly.
be ready. Oh,
All right, guys.
hold on, Terry. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
She actually has been inundated with orders, and
Oh.
said she just doesn't have time because she has a life.
Wow.
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 Okay.
I'm not surprised. It's gonna bypass. Sell the idea to somebody else and give them the tool. Gee. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. And always remember, Terry.
It goes with